What used to be an obscure graphics card maker for serious video game players is now bigger than anything ever in the history of the universe. Seems a little odd. I don't know about your life. Nvidia doesn't really have a presence in my life, but for some reason, it's the monster. For the moment, at least, we're seeing some selling. One day does not a trend make, but I'll take it. So let's jump in and look at some charts together. And we start off with the spider, which is roundabout close to its midline on the channel, but it's still above it. The first big test on this, and this would be a crash, according to the federal government, but if we got down here a couple of percent, if we slip below this gap, that would be a first bright yellow flag that something is amiss here. It'll take some doing to get there. This is a very, very contrived market we're dealing with. If enough selling takes place, we could slip below that gap, and I'll be sure to mention it if we do. The small caps are down about 0.2%. As you well know, this is a very range-bound market. IWM still range-bound, and we're rather lofty in that range, this 2+ year range. So that looks prone to weakness. But I kicked off things talking about all the Grok XAI purchases, and there was a lot of excitement about those, but let's check them out. SMCI, let's zoom in nice and tight on this one. What have we got? Well, we approached this high like so, backed off, and we're actually, it seems incredible, we're down for the day, down 7.91. This is really, really, really good news for SMCI. You know, you don't get much better than Elon given his blessing to buying lots of your stuff, and the stock's down. I wouldn't trade it myself. It's a sloppy chart. It does seem kind of range bound to me. Anecdotally, if you've got that much good news and you're down for the day, interesting. Dell, same idea. A little cleaner from a charting standpoint because we did have a price gap here, which it got close to ceiling, 165.11. We got up to 161.52 and have been backing off pretty much all day long, and we're down a little more than $1 presently on that one. Most important stock in the universe, Nvidia, down 3.7%. We're seeing prices not seen since Tuesday. I mean, honestly, it's not a big deal. The prior trading day, we were at these prices. So we've sort of thrown away the gains from Tuesday. It is at the moment, barely, a bearish engulfing pattern. I also, this is like kryptonite to me. I don't go near Nvidia. We are getting a nice little reversal on that. And it has such a lock on the psyches of investors and the permabulls that if you had any kind of sustained selling, which it hasn't happened for months. I mean, the last time there was any selling in Nvidia was like in March, and just for a few weeks, months ago. As it is now, it's like lifetime high, lifetime high, lifetime high, lifetime high. If you had 2 days down, people would be flipping out. And SMH also down about 3%, naturally, because Nvidia is the biggest component. So in this instance, we're sinking down to where we were back on Monday. Jumping away from semiconductors, and I'm going to change this to a line chart. You can see a big old ugly data error there, which I've reported, but we'll just make that a line chart. This is Virgin Galactic. I just wanted to illustrate reverse splits don't usually work out. Most of you know that a reverse split takes place when a stock is doing so horribly that the price gets embarrassing. It's not marginable anymore sometimes. It might be a penny stock. It's just, the company, it's just like egg on their face. So they'll do like in this case, what did they do? I think this was a 1 for 20 reverse split right along there last week. But yeah, this is SPCE. This is Chamath's, one of his SPACs. Just to make the point, this is a good example. And on a reverse split basis, this peaked in the thousands. It was a quadruple digit stock, and now it's a single digit stock. So yeah, don't buy into the reverse split thing. It is a gimmick that I don't know what the data shows, but I strongly suspect if you analyze all the stocks that reverse split, they did not have a good outcome. I don't think these guys have done a reverse split. Well, maybe they have, actually, considering the price, but the point here is a little bit of a different one, which is simply to point out, again, that the Tesla wannabes just have not had a good time. This is one of the lesser known ones, a Workhorse Group. They're British, I believe. Yeah, they must have they almost certainly had a reverse split because this was almost $1,000 and it's approaching penny stock level at this point. Quite the slip and slide there. Really, really something to behold. I haven't talked about old ALB in a while. I never participated in this. I've pointed it out a bunch of times, but it's doing great on the short side. You can see the top right here, just down, 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 over 5% today alone. Really, I see support way down at that green trend line. And another one, not that easy to trade, but AON, also British, it seems. I suppose, PLC. But this one has a nice gap right there, that dashed line there. Got close to that gap on Tuesday and it's backing away from that. Bonds are down about 0.2%. The trend line has held on this. We can see resistance, 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 both on a short-term basis, this cool little symmetric triangle, and a longer-term basis, this big old symmetric triangle. So that's holding up nicely. ITB, home builders, very vulnerable on a long-term basis. This channel goes back for decades. We were very lofty in this. Yes, it's lower than it was, say, back in March. We are getting very close, failing below this top. And what's important is the long-term. We're way up there still. XLF is up just a skosh. This is the financials, but it still merits watching if we can break below this semicircle right here, this rounded top. XLU, you know what? I finally got out. Why did I get out? Well, a couple of reasons. It's annoying, and you've probably dealt with this yourself. The bid ask all day long will become like gargantuan. It'll be tight, and it'll be like $2 by $4. I get sick of it. And I think there's bigger fish to fry. Get out. It was a profit. I'm just annoyed with it. So, and I'm sure now that I'm out, it can plunge to the green line here. So I still have faith in utility short, but I'm not in it anymore. It's still a really good looking chart though. Just so full disclosure on that. The stuff I'm still sticking around with and doesn't have gargantuan bid-ask spreads, let's thumb through them. Financials, as we saw with XLF there, is still a little bit strong. And that is okay as long as the stops aren't violated. So this is really all that matters on an individual stock basis. 8.39, that dashed line right there. So this one's up a little bit today. DraftKings, tried this Monday and got out, but I'm giving this another shot. It just seems to me that between this broken trend line, what I'm using now is this horizontal, today's high as the stop. I'm going to give this another try. I got a feeling about this. So DKNG, a new position on that. Just got into earlier today. KeyCore, as with CMA, a little bit strong. It's pretty close to, I might wiggle this a little bit, but round about 13.72 on that one. ON, this is a new one for me on semiconductor. And we've got a gap here at 70.36, like so. Nice looking top on this one. And so far, so good on that. Also into the cubes, I made mention of a position in that. A little bit nerve-wracking last night when it was at new lifetime highs. But as you can see, and let's change this to a candlestick to make it more clear, nice bearish engulfing pattern on this one. In fact, let's just look a little bit. Yeah, last time we had, and this is a nice illustration that, as I said earlier, one day does not a pattern make. This was a bearish engulfing pattern too. Didn't mean a thing. It got a little lower and then it sprang forth like so. Candles are nice as very short-term indicators, but they're not sea changes by any means, unless it's like a weekly or monthly or something like that. Royal Caribbean, RCL, easing back from our dash line on this one. As I've been mentioning, really an eye toward failing this channel, the supporting trend line. A few more. Starbucks, SBUX, was green earlier, now it's slipped red again. And a big old top on this one. Really like the looks of this. Nice tight stop on this one as well. This dash blue line would be my get out point. Shopify down about 0.75%. And here's our top on this one. We've got a broken trend line here. I'm not going to go as high as this gap. That's way too far away. Between the trend line and this bottom of the pattern, that's good enough for me, 68.21. And the last one, as I mentioned, I think on Tuesday to you, United Airlines, UAL, nice day, about a 1.7% drop. Getting rather close to what would be a crucial support failure at 48.27. So far, so good on that. So we'll wrap it up at the bottom of the hour here with the NASDAQ 100 NDX. Nice bearish engulfing pattern on that as well. Intraday lifetime high, futures lifetime high. The fact semiconductors are down, bit of an asterisk, I think, for the market in general.